We've been able to, accomplish communicating. We weren't able to have an OTA, so everything was over Zoom. So to be out there and communicate and just have people coming at you full speed, we've been able to do a real good job at that and creating turnovers.
And for you, just you obviously have gone through all the practices and drills, so you look like you're healthy. But I know injuries have been an issue in the past. Just how are you feeling at this point in camp? And obviously, it's such an unusual circumstance with the way the offseason has gone for everybody.
Yeah, I feel great. Coming off the ACL the year before and going through last season, I was having a lot of lower muscle problems, like strains. But I've been taking care of myself this off season, and I had a little bit more time due to the fact of COVID and not having OTAs. So I stayed on top of my body, and I feel great. Human, I feel a little sore out there. It'd be hard practices. You're going up against some fast guys, but I feel good.
Hey, Ronald, I was curious, how does this coaching staff kind of teach discipline or to stay disciplined when facing a wide receiver? What are some of the things they emphasize and to not make those mistakes?
What did he say?
Could you repeat that again?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just good. Just how does the coaching staff kind of emphasize discipline or not committing mistakes when playing in the secondary?
You said, how do they
emphasize not making mistakes?
Emphasize not making mistakes. You can't really emphasize not making mistakes. It's about how you coach mistakes. Mistakes are gonna happen, But main thing to not make mistakes is make sure your eyes are good. Keep drilling yourself on your technique even when you're tired, hot. You just gotta stay on top of yourself. And then mistakes happen, so you just fix the mistakes.
And what are your impressions of facing Terry McLaurin in practice?
You said facing who? Terry? Oh, Terry. He real talented. He one of the best. I went up against, cause he gonna work each play. He know how to get out his cuts full speed. He's smart. He want to learn. He want to get better. He real good. And he young. That's the scary thing. He's so young, so he got a lot of years. He's only gonna get better. So he a very talented player.
Hey, Ronald, when you signed here, you mentioned how Ron Rivera's system was really cornerback friendly. Now that you've had a chance to play in it, how do you like it so far?
I love it. It's a lot of different things. I'm used to always just being man to man 95, 98% of the time. And it's a man defense, but there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about. So you can play aggressive to certain things, and you can have your eyes back on the quarterback on certain things. So I love it a lot. And then you got the up front we have, which will cause pressure. You can make a lot of plays in this defense.
Thank you.
Hey, playing on a one-year deal, it was interesting. Ron Rivera earlier talked about Josh Norman playing with him in Carolina, and we all saw kind of the contract that landed Josh Norman. Does that ever enter your mind, especially when you were picking which teams to go to? You talk about how much you love this system, and Ron says he wants corners with vision. Is that your game? Does it all kind of come together there?
Like I said, this is my first time playing in this type of defense. Ever since I got drafted, I've been in a man-to-man defense my whole career. So, I like the deal a lot. I like Coach. Coach always liked me, and I feel like this was the perfect fit for me.
I can't help but notice your sweatshirt. Are you a hunter?
Oh, no, I'm not a hunter. This is an Under Armour sweatshirt.
Okay.
Hey, Ronald, thank you for taking the time to do this. I was just curious about what is it like to play for a coach like Chris Harris, who is extremely high energy? I mean, we hear him out there saying, you all don't like nice things when you don't get interceptions and stuff like that. What's it like playing for a coach that's exceptionally high energy like that?
It's good because, sometimes, we had them hard days when the energy not there, and he going to stay on top of us, and he going to always bring that energy. And it's always good, hear coaching and tips from someone that did what you did. Like, he been in the league, he played in the league, so it's things that he's seen and, actually been out there. He know what's going on out there. So it's good to have someone out there like that. He brings the energy every day. He's going to come every day with the energy.
Okay, sorry to cut you off. You mentioned just like the style of play in this defensive back system. I noticed I think it was the first practice, you had a really good hit on Terry where you were able to lodge the ball loose. What would be the term? It seems very aggressive what the corners and defensive backs are doing, but what would be the term that you would use playing in the system to describe it?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
It's hard to really answer that. I just know like this defense could set you up to make a lot of plays.
Mm-hmm.
You got to also be disciplined with your eyes. You got to know what's going on. Certain things you don't take. It's like you got to learn what to be real aggressive on and what you don't have to be real aggressive on.
Okay. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I want to go back to Coach Harris for a minute because he's been saying welcome to Gotham City. Do you guys have a Batman thing going back there?
Oh, I don't know where that came from. I think that was the first time he said that. That's the first time I heard him say that, but we don't have no Batman themes going on.
You grew up a Redskins fan, right?
Yeah, I grew up. I'm from DC, Maryland area.
Is it hard to get used to the name change? What'd you think about that?
Yeah, it was just crazy to me. You know, as a little kid, when you grow up a fan, you always want to play for the team you grew up watching. And then the 1 year I come here, the name taken away. So I'm playing for the Washington football team. I'm happy. It's a blessing.
Ronald, Sam 48 with the Washington Post. I wonder how much you guys, the players, talk amongst yourselves about COVID and the regulations. Obviously, Ron's asked you guys to be responsible, but I wonder how much, like, if you guys even talk about it that much now.
Yeah, they still very strict on it. Like when we do meet, they make sure we 6 feet apart, and then we carry our trackers around everywhere. My tracker in my pocket right now, and if it's blinking red in the meetings, he makes sure we separate more. So we on top of it a lot still. Everyone in the building take it serious.
And do you feel like players, I don't know if regulated is the right word, but hey, if you guys think like, hey, this might be a situation that we shouldn't be in, do you guys kind of talk about that amongst each other or regulate each other?
They did a great job of making sure like everything how it's supposed to be. And if it ever is a problem, Coach door always open. So any type of problem that we have, we can always go to Coach and talk about it. So but like since I've been here, since camp and everything been going on, I haven't had no complaints or anything.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ronald, it's Chris Russell from SI.com and 106.7 The Fan. You mentioned communication being something that you guys have been working on. That was a big problem in the last couple of years here. I'm just curious from your perspective, what makes a good communicator? How do you go about communicating what you might see to another corner, whether it be in the slot or just between the safeties or whoever you might have to communicate on a certain play or situation with?
Yeah, the main thing about communication is knowing what you're doing. So it's like we go over the same stuff like in meetings, walkthrough meetings and practice, like we're doing it over and over and over again. So the more you see it, the easier for you to like know what's going on. So like when it comes to communicating, you just gotta know what's going on.
Hey, Ronald. I know COVID has probably changed being home and the cool factor of playing for the team and maybe seeing some family and friends. But what is that like to be able to come home and maybe some of the favorite things, a favorite restaurant, favorite things about being home, seeing certain people, seeing certain places that has you excited to be back in the DMV?
It feels good to be back home, but you also gotta stay focused. You know, I grew up around here, so it could be a lot of distractions if you allow it to be. But Ashburn, just far enough to get away from everything back home. It's like a 45 to an hour minute drive to get back home. But it's good to be back. I'm not sure how the season gonna go as far as, fans and things like that. But like I got like a good group back home, people that's gonna make sure I'm on the right path and doing things right.